Watership Down. 2.
If I start feeling there's anything dangerous, I'll tell you. But it's not exactly danger that I seem to feel about the place. It's, I don't know, something oppressive, like thunder. I can't tell what, but it worries me. All the same, I'll come across with you.
They ran over the culvert. The grass was wet and thick near the stream, and they made their way up the opposite slope, looking for drier ground. Part of the slope was in shadow, for the sun was sinking ahead of them, and Hazel, who wanted a warm, sunny spot, went on until they were quite near the lane. As they approached the gate, he stopped, staring. "Fiver, what's that? Look!" A little way in front of them, the ground had been freshly disturbed. 2 piles of earth lay on the grass. Heavy posts, reeking of creosote and paint, towered up as high as the holly trees in the hedge, and the board they carried threw a long shadow across the top of the field. Near one of the posts, a hammer and a few nails had been left behind. The 2 rabbits went up to the board at a hopping run and crouched in a patch of nettles on the far side, wrinkling their noses at the smell of a dead cigarette end somewhere in the grass. Suddenly Fiver shivered and cowered down.
"Oh, Hazel, this is where it comes from. I know now. Something very bad. Some terrible thing coming closer and closer."
He began to whimper with fear.
"What sort of thing? What do you mean? I thought you said there was no danger." "I don't know what it is," answered Fiver wretchedly. "There isn't any danger here at this moment, but it's coming. It's coming. Oh, Hazel, look! The field! It's covered with blood."
"Don't be silly. It's only the light of the sunset."
"Fiver, come on. Don't talk like this. You're frightening me."
Fiver sat trembling and crying among the nettles as Hazel tried to reassure him and to find out what it could be that had suddenly driven him beside himself. If he was terrified, why did he not run for safety, as any sensible rabbit would? But Fiver could not explain, and only grew more and more distressed. At last Hazel said,
"Fiver, you can't sit crying here. Anyway, it's getting dark. We'd better go back to the burrow." "Back to the burrow?" whimpered Fiver. "It'll come there. Don't think it won't. I tell you, the field's full of blood."
"Now stop it," said Hazel firmly.
"Just let me look after you for a bit. Whatever the trouble is, it's time we got back."
He ran down the field and over the brook to the cattle wade. Here there was a delay, for Fiver, surrounded on all sides by the quiet summer evening, became helpless and almost paralyzed with fear. When at last Hazel had got him back to the ditch, he refused at first to go underground, and Hazel had almost to push him down the hole. The sun set behind the opposite slope. The wind turned colder with a scatter of rain, and in less than an hour it was dark. All color had faded from the sky, and although the big board by the gate creaked slightly in the night wind, as though to insist that it had not disappeared in the darkness, but was still firmly where it had been put, there was no passer-by to read the sharp, hard letters that cut straight as black knives across its white surface. They said, "This ideally situated estate, comprising 6 acres of excellent building land, is to be developed with high-class, modern residences by Such and Martin Limited of Newbury, Berks." In the darkness and warmth of the burrow, Hazel suddenly woke, struggling and kicking with his back legs. Something was attacking him. There was no smell of ferret or weasel. No instinct told him to run. His head cleared, and he realized that he was alone except for Fiver. It was Fiver who was clambering over him, clawing and grabbing like a rabbit trying to climb a wire fence in a panic.
Fiver! Fiver, wake up, you silly fellow! It's Hazel! You'll hurt me in a moment. Wake up!
He held him down. Fiver struggled and woke.
Oh, Hazel, I was dreaming. It was dreadful. You were there. We were sitting on water, going down a great deep stream, and then I realized we were on a board, like that board in the field, all white and covered with black lines. There were other rabbits there, bucks and does, but when I looked down, I saw the board was all made of bones and wire, and I screamed, and you said, "Swim, everybody swim!" And then I was looking for you everywhere and trying to drag you out of a hole in the bank. I found you, but you said, "The chief rabbit must go alone," and you floated away down a dark tunnel of water.
Well, you've hurt my ribs anyway. Tunnel of water indeed. What rubbish. Can we go back to sleep now?
Hazel, the danger, the bad thing, it hasn't gone away. It's here, all round us. Don't tell me to forget about it and go to sleep. We've got to go away before it's too late.
Go away? From here, you mean? From the warren?
Yes, very soon. It doesn't matter where.
Just you and I?
No, everyone.
The whole warren? Don't be silly. They won't come. They'll say you're out of your wits.
Then they'll be here when the bad thing comes. You must listen to me, Hazel. Believe me, something very bad is close upon us, and we ought to go away.
Well, I suppose we'd better go and see the chief rabbit, and you can tell him about it. Or I'll try to. But I don't expect he'll like the idea at all. Hazel led the way down the slope of the run and up toward the bramble curtain. He did not want to believe Fiver, and he was afraid not to. It was a little after Nephthys, or noon. The whole warren were underground, mostly asleep. Hazel and Fiver went a short way above ground, and then into a wide, open hole in a sand patch, and so down, by various runs, until they were 30 feet into the wood, among the roots of an oak.